Yeah, good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. T. Vasudev Reddy. I'm the Director and Training Placement Officer for Bhavishya Educational Society. Today, we are here to give you insights about latent view. So, today we have with us Avinash Reddy. He placed in latent view and he will be giving you clear explanation about latent view, what is the interview process and pay packages and how to prepare and so on. First of all, congratulations, Avinash, for getting into LTI with higher package, which is of 10.6. Can you introduce yourself?
Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, sir. My name is Avinash, and I'm currently a fourth year undergraduate at an engineering college in Hyderabad. Um, my most interest is in lies in software engineering, even though I'm from an electronics branch, and thus I have strived myself to get into a good company and work with the brighter talent in India. So that's about me, and I'm very happy to be part of this channel and share my experiences with all the students who are aspiring to become software engineers in the future.
Okay. So, Avinash, do you know what work latent view will do?
So Latent View is basically a data analytics company. So they are primarily a service-based company who has actually clients. So Latent View Analytics actually provides services, data analytics services, data engineering services, or warehouse services for its clients, and that's basically it. They don't own a product or something like other product-based companies do, but they provide services in data analytics. So that's their main foreground of Latent View Analytics.
Okay. So, how was the interview process?
The interview process was actually mixed because the whole interview process is actually very tiring because like we had close to 6 rounds and uh, but the interview process and the interviewers were actually really friendly. So that actually helped to cope up with the process all along. I actually enjoyed the interview process, to be honest.
Okay. So, what kind of questions they you can expect during the interview process?
Okay, so for just for like basically for software roles or for roles to get into tech industry, uh, the questions are mostly comprised of data structures and algorithms or system design. But Latent View Analytics was different in its own way because they wanted analysts or proper data engineers or people who actually were able to connect and correlate with data. So most of the questions were actually focused on Python and SQL. That was their text most forefront. But after that, they actually focused on statistics, probability, and like that part of the math as well. So it was a mix of everything. It was a mix of mathematics and it was a mix of programming too. So that's what made the questions different for latent analytics.
Okay. Okay. So, can you elaborate about each round and challenges that you are faced?
Okay, yeah. So the first round was basically a common round, like almost 800 people took place in the round, and it was filtered down to 100. It was basically an aptitude round, and there were no coding questions asked. So based on aptitude, they filtered us for the next round, which was actually GD round. In the GD round, we were actually, given Google Meet link, and we were asked to discuss about specific topics. That round filtered out almost 50% of the already shortlisted candidates. So, and after that, it was a game-based round. We were supposed to play a game on our mobile, and according to the scores we actually gained in the game, we were shortlisted to the technical rounds and the HR rounds. There were total three technical rounds for latent to analytics. The first round was fairly simple. It was more like a friendly discussion for me with the interviewer because um, the basic fundamental questionnaire pattern the interviewer came with to like ask for the interviewers was about Python and SQL. But being the previous internship experience I had, I was already able to speak about backend frameworks in Python such as Flask and Django. So that made the interviewer more interested in me, and so we had a really friendly discussion in the first round of interview. It was a physical interview, the first round of interview. The next two rounds of the technical interview were online, and people who were working full time in latent analytics actually took the interview. Those two rounds were mostly focused on designing databases and general math probability. In my third technical round, I was actually given a small aptitude kind of not aptitude, but a kind of quiz which we usually give it to small kids. So I was actually not able to solve it, but the interviewer was actually really friendly and helped me out of this solution. And after that, it was a HR round. In the HR round, the HR actually inquired about my family background and what type of fields I'm interested in, like just basic HR questionnaire. That was about the HR part. They were since Latent Analytics is basically from Chennai and they have branches all over the world, but not really expanded. They were looking for students who were ready to relocate to Chennai or Bangalore or wherever their offices are. So that questionnaire part was also actually included in the HR round as well. The challenges I faced were minimal because the job role actually suited my interest, and I was actually ready for the interviews long before they even happened. So I didn't face much challenge, but since the number of rounds were so high in quantity, it was actually a bit tiring. That's the only challenge that I
Okay.
personally
Okay.
faced for the
So,
interviews.
what are the skills that are required to crack the interview?
Are the basic skills that are enough to crack a data analyst or data engineer interview is basically a language through which you can analyze data and a database technology through where you can store data. So that's it, according to me. That's what I genuinely feel. You can learn actually the most basic of the language is Python. You can learn Python and start analyzing the data. That's that's the start, and you can learn MySQL to store data. That's the start. So you start from Python and MySQL, and you can actually go to big data clusters such as sorry. You can go into big data. You can learn languages such as Julia or R to start with more data analysis. Latent we actually required R to like work in their office premises, but there were actually talks about some training to train the students with R. If basically if they are able to do the data analysis with Python, then they'll be able to do data analysis with any language because data analysis is the primary required skill. So learn data analysis, start doing ML courses, basic ML courses. So you can learn how to do things, and that's what will get you started with everything.
Okay. Okay. So, do you feel DSA is necessary to get a higher packages?
Not necessarily, sir, because DSA is actually asked for by big companies like the product-based companies, FANG basically. FANG means Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. They're the top performing stocks in the US market, and they're also the top places for software engineers to work because like the pay is really good. So those companies, like the ones in those league, actually ask data structures and algorithms for for the interviews. But there are actually also companies who do not necessarily require like competitive programming level of DSA. Rather, if you are able to solve small problems or medium level problems during the interviews, then you are good to go. Because at the end of the day, even when you join a company, learning data structures and algorithms, and like being a candidate master on code forces and stuff, but after you go to the company, you're supposed to work on real tech stack, like something related to if you are a web developer, MERN stack or mean stack, or if you are a data scientist, you'll probably work on Apache, Kafka clusters, or if you become a DevOps engineer, which is recently trending these days, you'll work on Docker or Kubernetes. So there are endless tech stacks out there, and DSA is not necessarily the one of them. If one wants to, do DSA, then that's up to him. But to crack high paying jobs, DSA is not necessarily the only path one can take. There are many routes to take actually.
Okay. So, you have completed many internships also, right? Can you name some
Yes.
internships online?
Uh, Yes, sir. So in my second year, I worked in a company called Apoon. It's a social media company. They have a social media app. So I worked there basically, like supporting the back end of the application and writing test cases and designing user frames, user interfaces. Basically, because it was a startup, I actually got a lot of exposure on the technologies they did. It was basically a Python internship. The backend was written Django, so it was a Python internship, and that's what actually got me started on learning Python. And in my third year, at the end of my third year and at the start of my fourth year, I actually worked in a company called Shirib Technologies. That company is basically a service-based company which provides end-to-end application development for Y Combinator startups. So Y Combinator is a startup platform, like they pitch their ideas and get something, just basically like Shark Tank. And the ideas which got selected at Shark Tank are sent to companies like us at Shirem Technologies, and we build software products for them. So I worked on Python there, but I actually got a like idea of DevOps ideologies also, like CI/CD, or basically backend engineering, microservices to be exact, designing the services and controller layers. So that's what got me started at Shirem Technologies. So these were the internships. Other than that, I was actually part of many EduSkills and AICT sponsored virtual internships where I got a chance to work under Red Hat Academy, learning courses, and AWS Academy for learning about cloud things. So these are the different types of internships that I've been a part of, and that's how I got to learn a lot of things.
Okay. Avinash, any suggestions to your juniors in view of placements for the upcoming batches? Or
Uh,
yeah.
what I would basically recommend is software industry is not a industry meant for everyone, because like most of them get burnt out at the very start of their phase. So what I would recommend is instead of like gaining an interest on the salaries or the perks or the packages, try to look at things in interesting way, because as far as I think, most of the people who will watch these videos are engineers. They are basically students studying BTech. So you would actually get the feeling of like just a day before the exam, when you're reading subject, you'll actually feel the subject is very interesting. And if you have taken the subject, if you have read about the subject at least a month before, then you could have aced it. So think of your career as the same way, because you don't want to be getting into an industry which you hate from the starting. You don't want to be getting into industry just for the money it offers. Try to gain interest in it. There are various ways. If you like competitive programming, join any competitive programming classes, and start competitive programming. If you like doing development work, then start doing development work. Build some projects, add it to your resume. If you like doing open source contributions, there are a lot of videos on YouTube on doing open source contributions. Try that out. And see, basically there are endless possibilities on how you can get started with doing software engineering, and packages are just a byproduct of uh, good software engineers. So try to be a good software engineer, and the packages will automatically follow. So that's what I would say.
Okay. Okay, Avinash, thanks for connecting with us. Congratulations once again and wishing you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.